Welcome to the vid. It's morning. It's finally spring in New England. I can go back to my routine of eating breakfast outside. If you're gonna take away one thing from this video, it needs to be this. Like, this is phenomenal, okay? It has taken me years to perfect this recipe. So what I'm eating is a tofu scramble and a loaded avocado toast. I also have been trying to get more probiotics lately, so I love this brand, Forager Project. And it's a probiotic cashew milk yogurt. This one's strawberry. The ingredients are really clean. It's like cashews, strawberries, a bunch of different live active cultures. The key to an avocado toast is having layers. So this has a layer of hummus, then an avocado mash. I do some sort of fermented veggies, so you could do like pickled onions, sauerkraut. I did kimchi, and then to balance that out, I do like a little drizzle of agave. So to add in protein, I can get it from the hummus. And in the avocado mash, I usually mix in some homemade greens. If I have greens on hand, some microgreens and hemp seeds, that is the key. And then this tofu scramble literally speaks for itself. Like, it's phenomenal. The tahini's extra protein, the tofu. I've been literally starving, and I'm going on my way to explain how good this is. You just have to try it. I think like this would actually be my dying meal. It's so good. And then you can like put the tofu scramble on the avocado toast while you're taking a bite, if that makes sense, so it's even more loaded. Like, I swear, if I could open a vegan restaurant, like a breakfast place, this would be the #1 thing on the menu. Anyways, I'm gonna finish eating this, enjoying the 50-degree weather, and finally being able to sit outside barefoot, soak in the earth energy, and it's a great start to the day. So as you can kind of see here, this is a really great recipe to meal prep. So I just made a bunch of lentils, a lot of quinoa, sweet potatoes. You can also meal prep the dressing. This is all gonna be good in your fridge for at least the next couple of days. So, and then you can kind of mix and match here, which is really cool. So maybe you do a different dressing, maybe you do a different green. Like, the possibilities are endless. So it is lunchtime. I made these sweet potato lentil bowls. It's everything is so good. So the key to this is the tahini dressing. That's gonna add a lot more protein. And something I've learned about trying to get protein in with a plant-based diet, a trick that I've been using is putting hemp seeds in a lot of things because they don't really have a lot of flavor, but they have a lot of protein and nutrients. So I sprinkled this with some hemp seeds, nutritional yeast, topped it off with some avocado slices. And then this is a really good grain bowl. You can have it for lunch, dinner. It's great for meal prep too. I batch made the lentils and the quinoa and the sweet potatoes, and everything just comes together so good. The tahini is so creamy. I think tahini is like gotta be one of my favorite things ever. And you can play around with the dressing. I had added some curry powder to get that little bit of comforting spice in there, and then maple syrup and some lemon juice. You can play around with the thickness too if you want your sauce thicker or thinner. If you want it thinner, just add some more water. And I mean, you kind of could make this more of a salad if you wanted, like just using raw kale instead. Being plant-based has brought out a lot of creativity within me in the past few years. I've had to get creative with my protein sources. I first started going vegan in high school. I think I was 15 or 16. So it's been like almost 10 years now. And I had really struggled at first because I didn't really know what protein was. So I kind of was just eating vegetables and potato chips and didn't know the value of protein. But I was really determined to learn, so I did a lot of research. And now I think I get a pretty good sense of protein. My holistic doctor actually told me a few years ago I wasn't getting enough protein, and a number one sign of that is fatigue. So if you're really tired and you're plant-based, it could be your protein levels, but there's so many easy ways to get protein without eating meat. This is packed with lentils. Quinoa is a great source. I mean, even the kale is very nutrient dense. There are so many protein sources, and if you make these grain bowls, you can mix and match the vegetables you're adding in, the different protein sources you're adding in. So just getting really creative and having fun. Like, this bowl is so colorful and it tastes so good, and I just feel so nourished after. Also, if you're new to cooking, this recipe is super simple. I mean, it really just involves like a lot of hands-off things. So letting the lentils and quinoa cook, letting the sweet potatoes cook, and bake in the oven. So it's a super beginner-friendly, easy recipe. It's also really fun if you have people in your life that enjoy eating plant-based, having like friends or a partner, and you guys can go in the kitchen and experiment together. I found that to be really encouraging, exchanging recipes, or even just on, I know like Facebook has groups of vegans in the area, or meeting up with people that are plant-based, trying new foods at different plant-based restaurants. I mean, this recipe is so versatile. You can really add in anything, get creative. Like if you want to cut up some tofu, fry some tofu, you can throw that in there. You want to add beans, go ahead. Like, this is your world. I'm just giving you a base of what I eat. You can experiment with different dressings. Maybe you want to do like a more nut-based dressing, like an almond-based dressing or a tofu-based dressing. The thing I love about these grain bowls is they allow for a lot of creative freedom, and I think that's a really fun thing I've learned about plant-based cooking is challenging myself and also eating really good, colorful, nutrient-dense foods. So the recipe I created for this is in my blog post. It's a loose recipe. By that I mean like you don't have to follow it exactly. I like to cook intuitively, so that means that you don't have to measure out every single spice. You don't have to make the recipe exactly like me. It's kind of a baseline. So again, have room for that creative freedom. Add your own little touch into this. Also, let me know any suggestions you guys have in the comments of what you've added or any recipes that you enjoy. Actually, something I've been trying to do in my life is learning to slow down when I'm eating. I grew up just eating so fast, like being on a busy schedule, being an athlete in high school, like even in college, just constantly having things to do. I trained myself to eat super, super fast. I don't know where this stems from. It's probably a byproduct of the society we live in, like constantly going, especially in America. So I don't know, I've just been trying to enjoy my food with no technology. When I was living on a farm in Hawaii, one of the elders that was living there actually said that you should take about 17 to 20 chews of your food per bite. So like that number has kind of stuck with me. So every time I take a bite, I've been well, not every time. I try to, and then I find myself eating fast. It's a learning process. But I don't know, if you want to try this out with me, just like really being mindful of what you're eating, feeling all the flavors coming together in your mouth. Food is something that we definitely can take for granted. So just learning to slow down. Slowing down in general is just so great on your nervous system anyways. So I think slowing down with food also can make a huge difference. Hi, it's dinner time. I have this amazing bowl of chili that I made packed with so much protein. I decided to serve this over a bed of rice. If you want to add even more protein, go ahead and do some quinoa also in there. For protein, I added 3 different kinds of beans. So there's red kidney, black beans, and pinto beans. Chickpeas are also really good in this if you want to add that as well. I also added in tempeh as another source of protein that is completely optional. This recipe originally was a pumpkin chili that I created. So if it's fall time and you have pumpkin puree, feel free to add that in there as well. Right now it's spring in New England, so I didn't really have any pumpkin. So I just made it more of like a springy, lighty feel. So I added in some fresh herbs, cilantro, chives, and then topped it off with some greens. Also added in some crumbled up tortilla chips with no seed oils. That is important. I really love the brand Siete. They have really good tortilla chips that don't have seed oils. It's made with avocado oil. And then I also added some Coco June yogurt. I kind of use it as like a sour cream. This is a plant-based yogurt. It's really yummy and it's really clean ingredients. So I think the toppings are what absolutely make this dish. Don't skip the toppings. But throughout, I added in some flavor boosters. It's really important, you know, you add your spices in when the onions are sauteing, so you can kind of bloom your spices and really get the most flavor out of them. I also found towards the end adding some umami boosters like a vinegar, coconut aminos, maple syrup for sweetness. That is also really beneficial, and lime juice. Sprinkle this with a bit of lime juice. That's gonna make all the flavors really come out. But anyways, I'm gonna put this recipe up as well. Again, it's a loose recipe. There's a lot of things I didn't have that I could have added. You know, I usually use tomato paste. I didn't have that, so I just did a little bit of crushed tomatoes. You also can add mushrooms. Sweet potatoes are really good in this. And this is a great meal to meal prep because you can also freeze it and then take it out of the freezer whenever you need. I love adding the tortilla chips. I feel like it just adds this really cozy crunch. I mean, you also can scoop chips in here as well. So there you have it, a full day of eating really nutritious, delicious, high protein vegan meals. Don't let anyone tell you that you can't get enough protein on a plant-based diet. There is so much protein I had in my day. I mean, I'm not one to count calories or macros or protein or anything like that, but I think this was a successful day. So anyways, let me know what you guys think down below. Please share any recipes that you have that are really high in protein, and I hope this video helps, and thank you guys for watching. I'll see you in the next video. Bye.